Take a look at what happened.
Our top story this morning, former President Donald Trump is recovering after surviving what the FBI is calling an assassination attempt. He was speaking at a campaign rally Saturday evening in Butler, Pennsylvania, when a gunman opened fire. One person who was there was killed. Two other people were critically hurt. Here in Georgia, leaders across the political spectrum are condemning that attack on the former president and his supporters.
Atlanta News First reporter Rebecca Schramm is live for us at the Georgia State Capitol. And Rebecca, our governor is among those weighing in this morning.
He is, Brooks and Gavir. And remember, Governor Brian Kemp and former President Donald Trump are not exactly friends, even though both are Republicans. Still, the governor said he is deeply thankful that the former president survived this. Take a look. Kemp sent out a statement on social media Saturday night saying that all Georgians mourn the innocent life lost and pray for the attendees still receiving care. He said what happened is horrific and contrary to everything our nation stands for. Several other politicians weighed in with similar messages. You know, a lot of people are concerned about security with this week's Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. We have confirmed that a special group of Sandy Springs police officers is headed there to assist with security. Of course, one of the attendees will be Georgia Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Here is what she is expecting.
There'll be a different tone at the convention. I'm sure the security will be drastically heightened.
And Georgia Democrats are also condemning the assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump. Coming up in our next half hour, you're going to hear from Senator Raphael Warnock of Georgia. Of course, he is the head preacher at Ebenezer Baptist Church here in Atlanta. What he said yesterday from the pulpit. Live at the state capitol, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.